Hi, hey guys. I'm sorry about the way things might look right now, but I just really needed to come and talk to you guys because I just kind of had an epiphany. It's just, I need a doll. Okay. I just had an epiphany. This is Amanda, by the way. Um, um, so I just had an epiphany. I've been kind of getting these vibes, like messages from the universe. Messages from the universe. Oh my god, I sound like a crazy person. But no, seriously, it's like messages from the universe, specifically about the environment. My grandmother and my mother, they've always taught me when something keeps reoccurring, you should probably pay attention to it. So basically, I've been getting bombarded with feelings, dreams. I find myself like on the bus and the train, and my mind will wander to the environment and the state that our planet is in. And I'm sure lots of people feel passionate about that topic. I've always been connected to the planet growing up, but it was more with animals than it was with the actual ground itself. Today, just today, I've had this conversation talking about the environment with three people. So I was already thinking, okay, there's some significance there. But then, like, I came home and I proceeded to crochet and listen or watch Libby's latest video. And, like, one of the first topics was talking about the environment and the world we're in. So I just was like, okay, maybe I finally just need to get off my ass and actually have the conversation. Living in New York City, I've kind of disconnected from the little boy that I used to be, which is fine because we all grow up. I remember, I think like the second or maybe the third year of me living here in New York City, my mom mentioned something to me. She said, "You've changed. Like, you've changed. Like, you're not my little boy anymore." And I was like, well, yeah, I'm not your little boy anymore. I'm not a little boy anymore, but I'm still Josh. And I am still Josh. But now I get it. You know that saying they always say, moms know best. And, you know, a mother usually knows their kid better than their kid does sometimes. And now I get it. I can clearly see how I've changed. I still love the environment and I still love animals, but a part of me has been put in a chest and packed up and put in the basement, and I haven't seen him since. And that part of me would be my extreme love affair with being connected to the planet. And I didn't even know that I needed that so deeply until recently. Recently, it's been really killing me not being able to go to a beach, not being able to walk outside with no shoes on in the grass. You know, like all those things I grew up with and grossly took for granted, I have been yearning for. And I don't use the word yearning, but I have been like waking up craving it and then being immediately pissed off because I know I can't have it because of where I live. Corey's my husband for the new people. Corey and I, we have made it our business to move because it will be cheaper for us and, you know, retirement and all that stuff. It'll be easier if we move to a place that is cheaper, and we are both Southern folk. So we want to move back to the South. We're still planning that. I'm not telling you guys, I'm just going to up and dip. You guys will know when I'm moving. But it seems crystal clear to me right now, but it just seems so ridiculous that I could have forgotten that part of me. And watching, okay, disclaimer, for all the people that watch me that are here in New York City, don't come to the damn doll meets and want to beat my ass up because I'm about to say what I'm about to say, okay? Just listen, okay? I do love New York City. I wouldn't have stayed here so long if I didn't. But New York City is dirty. Dirty as hell. The environment is like, I can feel it screaming and crying. It's being heard. It is being heard constantly. I'm not saying that New York City people are doing this intentionally. It's not, because one of the habits that I picked up that I'm breaking, or have broken in the last year, is littering. I never like where I come from. If you throw something out on the street, people will yell at you out of their car and tell you that the planet is not your trash can. Like, littering is just not something that was a problem where I come from. Lots of people in Jacksonville, Florida care about the environment. Lots of people have gardens. Lots of people have animals that they have to raise. Most people, or at least it was like my crew growing up, it was cool to care about animals. It really was. Like, anyway, I've taken it into account, my own carbon footprint, and understanding that you do leave a mark, even if you don't want to, or even if you don't think you do. You leave a mark on the planet. A physical mark. And I just kind of hope other people get that. And I kind of feel bad, because I also feel like a hypocrite. Understanding all of this and understanding that the planet is being hurt, not intentionally a lot of times, because lots of people just don't know how to care for the planet, or they've been educated about it, but you know, they don't care long enough, like they don't care past the conversation to actually make a change, which is neither here nor there. But I feel like a hypocrite because I am a doll collector. My dolls are plastics. My dolls will outlive me. And that's the case for lots of the vintage dolls, and that's why it's become increasingly more important to me to respect old art and respect dolls that have had a life, that are just like in the trash. I've found so many dolls in the trash here in New York City that it just kind of kills me, because I swear to God, that is not something that happened when I was younger. Like, you just don't find dolls in the trash. Anyway, and I bring them home, I clean them up, and a lot of dolls that I have found and cleaned up, I've given to children's hospitals, specifically the Cancer Research Center that's close to my house. There are lots of kids in the hospital that can't enjoy nature that would enjoy those dolls. I mean, but what makes me feel so conflicted is that I am a consumer. I consume pounds and pounds and pounds of plastic. And I swear to God, it's not even intentional, where it's like, I'm just going to go to the store and buy like 19 cartons of plastic shit to leave in the planet. It's not like that. Like I said, I've been taking into account my footprint that I'm leaving. So when I go in the store, I find myself actually reading labels and paying attention to what packaging is made of. And I've become just aware. And it's that, like, that little boy that really, really loved going outside and getting little grass cuts under his toes because he never wore shoes outside. He's talking to me and he's like telling me, Josh, you being this wasteful, over consumptuous person isn't actually who you are. And I've known that. I've been wanting to get back to a life that's not so wasteful. For all of you that have ever purchased anything from me, I'm sure you've gotten those boxes and you thought to yourself, what the fuck is up with this box? Because it's been recycled. I've been reusing boxes and I've been recycling. I've always been a recycler. Always, loved reusing things. But I've taken it further where before I throw things away, I've actually started looking at them thinking, can I reuse this? And I'm a crafter, so I immediately start thinking, well, I could probably sew that for the dolls instead of going to buy more things that might end up in our waste fields, further damaging our planet. And again, this is not to attack anybody else. I'm not attacking anybody. I just really wanted to talk about it because I really wonder, does anybody else feel like I feel? Does anybody else actually feel this tethering to the planet? I really care about the planet. And I've been, for the last 10 years, I've been in New York for 10 years, and I always tell people that I was born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida, but I feel like I grew up in New York because I was sheltered. Heavily sheltered. It happens to a lot of Southern kids. It's not just me. I did grow up in New York. I really did. I became the resilient kind of adult that I always knew that I would become, but I became it a lot faster here because you got to protect yourself, I think, faster now that I'm in New York. It's just a product of being here. It teaches you things. You get exposed to things that you would never have been exposed to in a place like Jacksonville, Florida. Being here, I've built up walls around myself to protect myself. That's pretty normal. But what I'm saying is, being in New York City, being away from where you come from, you do evolve into a different you, which is not bad. I am not, beating myself up for that. I'm just acknowledging it, and also acknowledging that there are portions of my being that was birthed in Jacksonville, Florida, that I left and that I needed. Oh, something that Libby said in her last video that actually just kind of sparked fire under my ass and really made me put my phone in front of the window to do this video. She was talking about her tarot cards, and I don't have any tarot decks. I've been around tarot decks before. My aunt, she had a few in the past that I've looked at, not really paid a whole lot of attention to. And one of the decks that she was showing to us, Libby, was very environment conscious. And I remember as a young kid, roadkill. It's very common in a lot of places. But the little armadillo and alligators and lizards, and we didn't have very much deer, but dogs and cats, they get hit by cars and no one pays attention to it. There was a card that she said people had an issue with. It depicted death, and it was a deer that looked like it'd been hit by a car and was decaying on the side of a road somewhere. That in and of itself has always bothered me. Always. Not the death itself, but the fact that people don't give any fucks about the death itself. So it's hard to explain. Just last weekend, Corey and I was walking from our local grocery store, and we seen 2 baby squirrels dead on the sidewalk, had fallen out of a tree, probably from the heat wave. Animals have heat strokes too, guys. And a part of me really wanted to give them some kind of honoring. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to do the whole give them a funeral thing, but I wanted their existence to be important somehow. And the first thing that popped into my head was taxidermy. You know? I was just like, taxidermy. Like, because I've seen taxidermy art before, and I've seen people appreciate an animal's existence, a living thing's existence in different ways. And taxidermy has always been one of those ways that I've seen it and just thought, how beautiful, and what a really nice way to both connect with the nature, get waste off the streets, and respect a living life. You know what I mean? There are so many remains on the sides of the streets in so many places from animals that have died, decayed, and are just still there. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's life. That's another thing. You have to respect life's cycle. Like, I've just been thinking about all this stuff for like the last 2 weeks specifically. And yeah, there are so many emotions on the inside of me, and it's just so fucking crazy, and I just needed to talk about it. It's not even fucking doll related, or maybe it is doll related. I don't know. We don't know. But yeah, I just needed to say that. So I will be getting back to you guys later in the week, because I have another large piece of plastic that is a doll coming in this week, and I'm really excited about it. You see why I feel conflicted? Here I am caring about the planet, then I'm just like, I have a whole hunk of plastic coming into my house. Anyway, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.